Okay, y'all, this is a lot of work. I'm going to consider section 10 through 16 the same thing because I taught y'all one way of factoring. So I'm going to solve number 10, and then I'm going to solve probably number 16. Now I'll probably solve number 15. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and work on number 10. What's the process in doing this? When it says factor the following, notice it just says factor. It doesn't say solve. It doesn't say solve. It just says factor. So you're not going to worry about setting it equal to 0 or any of that. You're just going to break it down into pieces it needs. So how do we start this? Well, this is quite simple. I'm going to go ahead and start by changing my colors. I'm going to have an A on this problem, which is 1. I'm going to have a B on this problem, which is negative 13. I'm going to have a C on this problem, which is 40. And then I'm going to have an AC on this problem, which is a 1 times 40, which is 40. So now I got to find what multiplies to AC but adds to B. So check it out. I'll make my little factors tables for 40. I have 1 and 40. I have 2 and 20. 3 and nothing. 3 and nothing. 4 and 10. 4 and 10. And then 5 and 8. So check it out. That's what we got for our 40 factors. 1 times 40 is 40, but there's no way I can add or subtract to get up to 13. So this one's out. 2 and 20 is 40, but there's no way I can add or subtract these to get to 13. 4 and 10, they do multiply to 40, but to add and subtract, it's either going to be 14 or 16. 14 or 6. That's not good. Oh, check it out. 5 plus 8 is 13, and 5 times 8 is 40. Now we got to worry about our signs. I notice that this is a negative one, and this is a positive one. So more than likely that tells me these are both going to be negatives. So let me see. Negative 5 times negative 8 is positive 40. Awesome. And then negative 5 plus negative 8 is negative 13. There it is. We're good on this. Remember on your test, if you're able to label A, B, C, A, C, and you're just stuck on the numbers and you want help, raise your hand. If you've done all this work and you're just messing up on your times tables, I'll help you on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and switch ink to the black now, and here's how I'm going to rewrite this first one. I'm going to start up here, and it's going to go x squared. Now, this is where the fun starts. My negative 13 is going to be split up. My negative 13 is going to be split up, and I'm going to replace it with these right here. So x squared minus 5x minus 5x minus 8x minus 8x. Remember, I'm splitting this up, and then what's left over is 40. So now I have to basically group. What does grouping look like? Well, let me switch to purple. Grouping looks like this. I'm going to put this in there. And then on these particular problems, when we have the fourth term, make sure you include the sign in there as well, too. Notice how I got the negative in there? Make sure you put that negative in there as well. And the positive if it was a positive one. So now I'm going to go ahead and factor each of these. I'm going to take the GCF out of this one. So on this one, I end up with x. Let's see. Shrink, shrink, and then shrink, shrink. I'm going to end up with x on this one, and then I'm going to have x minus 5 left over. And then when you have a negative number in front, you want to pull it out. Does 8 go into 40? The answer is yes. So I have a negative 8 I'm going to take out here. Negative 8 divided by negative 8 is just 1, so I'm left over with an x here. And then 40 divided by negative 8 is minus 5. And you know if you're doing these right, check it out, the interiors match. I'm going to do gold. See if these interiors match right here, you know you're doing the job right. So what are our factors now? Well, we're definitely going to take out the gold one, x minus 5. So that's nice. And then you have to check out what's left over. What's left over? You see this x right here. You see this little 8 right here. That becomes another factor. So I get x minus 8 for my factor. ABCs. It's never going away. It's universal. It works on every single one of them. Now I'm going to basically leave this here. Y'all see it here? All right, I'm going to clear this work, and I'm going to move to number 15. So clear annotations. Even though number 15 is the exact same thing, I still want y'all to see one that has an A like this. So here we go. I'm going to go A, I'm going to go B, I'm going to go C, I'm going to go AC. And again, I'm working number 15 if you're wondering. A, B, C, A, C. So here we go. A is 3, B is 5, C is negative 2, and then AC is negative 6. So it's got to multiply to AC and add to 5, which tells me it's probably going to be 6 and negative 1. Is that right? Negative 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. 6 minus 1 is 5, or 6 plus minus 1 is, in fact, 5. So I think it's 6 and negative 1. So here we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and split my work up. How does that look? 3x squared. I'm using this plus 6x minus 1x minus 1x minus 2. And I'm going to underline so you can see it. These numbers are replacing this thing right here. And it makes sense. 6x minus 1x is 5x. So now you are basically ready to group. You're ready to rock and roll and get this done. So let's go ahead and group this up. Doesn't look good. Let's group this up. And then we're going to factor these little things out. So on the first one, we have this. I'm going to get my little factors set up already. So on this one, we are going to do the first one. I have a 3 I can pull out, and I have an x I can pull out on the first one. 3x. This leaves an x right here, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2, and we pulled out the x. So that's it. I didn't get the negative inside the parentheses. That's stupid. I just told you to do that in the last one. Mistake. Right here. You want the negative in there. Shoink. That's what we want. We want the negative in there. Whenever there's a negative number here, you're going to take it out. And so far, it looks like I can only take out a negative 1. So negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. That just leaves us x. And then this negative 2 turns into a positive 2. And now you can check your work. If we did this correctly, these should match. And they do. So now we're done with that one. And I'm going to go ahead and write that down. X plus 2 is that in the middle one. Let's see that right there. And then the leftovers. I have a 3x that's left over. And I have a negative 1 that's left over. And you are done. Good to go. That's sections, what is that? 10 through 16.